to Pretty Little Liars, the after show here on the Stream.TV Fan Show Network. I'm your host, Sinead de Vries, and I'm joined by my Pretty Little Talkers and one extra special Pretty Little Talker. It's Huw Collins. Let's introduce him first.
Yay!
We're so happy you're here.
Back
I
and
am
alive.
happy to be here. The only person to do 2 appearances on PLLAS.
That's right.
Yes.
That must mean that we really,
It
really
does,
like you.
really too much.
Or it means that
probably.
people didn't like us. They're like, once is enough, thank you.
All right, also here I have Mova.
What up?
Megan and Steph.
Hi, guys.
All right, you guys, we have to get into this episode because there's so much to talk about. For real, for real. We have to start with the end of the episode first. I think that's probably the best, right? We all are in agreement.
Well, I think all the internet is freaking out right
Yeah,
now
it's really,
about it.
What happened
really
at the end?
sad. I
Oh, you mean when Caleb
through a
and
windshield.
Spencer had that conversation
that
about
was obviously the biggest part of the episode.
about
No.
whether they were going to
You-
carry on or.
I want you guys to know that Huw loves the show so much that he wanted to make sure to be there with us when we saw the big
I
reveal
did,
at
and
the
the
end.
reaction
He came early for
was
that.
amazing. It's
was
actually having newfound
shocked.
respect for you guys, having watched you guys watch the show. It's actually amazing watching you guys react
We're into
real
it.
time.
I was
They're so intense
shocked
about
because
it.
our group text is like on fire, especially on Tuesdays, and they were like, maybe he dies. We were going back and forth. I was like, there is no way he's going to die.
So I
Lo and
texted
behold.
them. I was like, either he's gonna die or he's gonna cut off Allison's leg. So I'm gonna be real
What
with
is
you.
the leg
Yeah,
thing?
where
Right,
would
before
it
we
It's
test
really
the leg.
gotten to me. A lot of people online have been speculating because Allison is missing a leg in the promo.
No, so what happened? I have to address this.
Yes,
actually
please do.
fully, because this is my fault, right? What happened was
I took her leg
What
home.
happened was someone said, "Oh, what's Elliot on Twitter said? What's Elliot gonna do with that saw? You know that when I take the saw, I'm like, oh, this looks sharp." And then in the poster for season 7, this one, if you saw the whole thing, you see that you can only really see
One leg.
One leg, right? So as a joke, I was like, "Didn't you see the poster for season 7? Hashtag bye bye Allison's leg."
Oh my God,
Total joke, and then people
my
really ran with
God.
it, and obviously I wasn't going to correct them because why would I?
Yeah.
And so I think that's really what started
That's
it, because I was
hilarious.
joking, and someone really took it.
Someone like Sinead.
Yeah, I was like,
like, oh my gosh.
But you're like
Must be true.
psychic because in season 6 there was a flashback with Allie and what we thought was her mom. Who knows? It could have been Mary at this
Right.
point. But Mary said to Allison, she said, "I'm sorry about your legs."
Yeah, because
Before that even
Allie
happened.
flashes back and she sees her dead body in a casket. And she's like, "What happened?" And she's like, "Oh, well, they never found your other leg."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I do
so that's
remember
like
that.
That actually
Really?
happened
Oh,
in a
that's weird.
previous season.
So you're like psychic.
But
So, yeah, I didn't mean to start a whole thing.
That's
but-
hilarious.
Did
I
Marlene
like
give
it.
you a shout out? Like, thanks, Huw, for adding to the twists and turns.
Yeah.
No, I didn't
seriously.
get any shout-outs from Marlene.
yeah,
Thanks,
it's-
Marlene.
It's really funny because a lot of people online were actually saying that this was the episode we were
They
going to
really
see
were.
you
I know,
cut
and I was
off
sitting there
Allison's
thinking,
leg.
oh, you really should correct them.
They're like, it's going to happen tonight, you guys. Dr. Rollins is going to cut off her leg. It's going to happen tonight.
What a dark twist that would have been. I wish they had
Well,
me
adding
cut
to
off.
the
great
suspense,
scene,
because
yeah.
when the car was coming, I'm like, here goes her leg, here goes her leg.
Yes.
They're gonna hit her, there goes her leg, there goes her leg.
I love that actually because they set it up as if we weren't supposed to know who they were gonna hit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I cannot believe that
It was
scene
you.
with your face coming through the windscreen and blood dripping
it.
down. It's insane. Like how was shooting that?
Some part of it was fairly technical. We did have a stunt guy who actually got hit by the car at full on 15 miles an hour. And you might think, oh, 50 miles an hour is not fast. That's really
that's fast, yeah.
And he hit the car.
Oh
It was
my
very
God.
intense. So
you're
And
just
then I popped
yeah, I was
in.
like, now I just go lie on the car. And he's like, oh, my body. But it was very technical because we had to shoot it in lots of little bits. But it was kind of fun. Like the end of it, where I have the blood coming out of my mouth, they kind of put a little bit of blood in my mouth. And
What?
You know,
What do you mean blood?
like fake blood, which tastes horrible. By the way.
They were going
Never
full
have
on
fake blood
acting,
in your
and they
mouth
were-
unless you
I thought it was
absolutely
like
have to.
pepperminty.
Hello.
It's like that sweetness that's it's meant to try and taste nice, but it tastes disgusting. But obviously, being like I wanted it to look real, they put a little bit in. I'm like, no, put tons of it in because I want it to really look realistic. And so they keep pouring it in, and Ashley, who's obviously the whole time sitting right in front of me in the front seat, is literally looking at me like just petrified. And at this point, I have drawn fake blood on her leg, and it's all over her leg and all over the car and all over the stuff. But it was really fun. There was a lot of makeup involved. It took a good like hour to put all of that stuff on. Because first it's like the base layer makeup, then it was like some green stuff, and then it was red. And it was all
Could you just not blink?
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I had to not blink for a while. But I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, dead people don't blink.
Generally.
Thank you, Captain
Generally,
Obvious.
they don't.
I was waiting for it. I was hoping. I was like, blink, Hugh. Blink, blink.
No,
You're
right
not
after the
dead.
end, they were like, he's gonna blink. He's gonna blink.
You're not
And I
dead,
was
right?
like,
You're not
Oh
dead.
man, our
I can't
hearts
even
broke.
believe that. Like, that's insane because right now, Dr. Rollins is the biggest villain on PLL. We all thought it was going to be Mary Drake, but then even last episode, we were like, we kind of like her. She's nice.
We like Mary, yeah.
But you were the evil of all evil, so now it's just like, where the hell does this show go?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think, like I said to you guys before, I think that there was some element of his death at this point, which I felt was a little premature, because I feel like there is a lot to explore about Elliot. I mean, there's a lot that people don't know about him, and I feel like there would have been some mileage in exploring more of that whilst he was still alive. But you know what the show is like. It moves very fast, and you know, the rest of the season will explore Elliot's backstory. You may see Elliot again at some point. So there's a lot still to explore.
Yeah.
okay, I have a question. I don't know how this really works when you die on a series like this, but I'm guessing you get the script. Did someone tell you in advance, like, you're gonna die, or you just read it and you're like, and then Elliot falls into the front of a car and is dead?
You kind of get a sense just from...
Do people start acting weird?
Yeah, do they
No,
paint?
not
Do they
really.
give you
No, they're
paint?
looking like...
Everyone's like avoiding you.
They like come up and give you hugs, and you're like...
He's like, hey guys, or like, let's send him
You're like, yeah. No, I didn't get any fruit baskets.
Oh, I would have sent you one if I would have known.
But they, you know, you kind of get a sense. I think as soon as you become a villain on a show, you know that you probably will die, because you kind of have to, because the villain never wins. It's just like the rule of dramatic material. So I guess I kind of knew it was coming a little bit, and then Marlene called me, and she was like, oh, I wanted to call in. And I was like, yeah, no, I know, I die next episode. And she's like, oh. And I was like, anyway, and she was like, I wanted to call. And you know, it was very nice. It was nice for her to call back.
Well, I mean, how did the convo really go, though? Like, what were the words exchanged?
Verbatim, I don't know. I think I was just screaming obscenities at her after she told me. I went full Rollins on her. I literally was like, where are you? I'm getting the saw out. I'm going to cut off your leg as well.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
So you know, it was. I don't know. I become very attached to characters, because you know, I like to explore the characters. I loved the fact that Elliot was so dark, and I loved exploring all of that. So I guess, you know, of course there was an element of me that was disappointed, because I wanted to explore it more, and I wanted him to do more dark stuff.
Right.
Was there any element of Elliot that was good? Like, are we gonna find out something really sad about his childhood or something, or like feel bad?
I think any character that is very dark, it comes from, like, there is a good balance. Like, the more dark extreme there is, the more light extreme there is, in my opinion. And so
Our
there
set
goes the
is
light.
falling apart.
And so that's God, a sign from God. Elliot should have lived.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, so yes is the answer to the question.
Good.
Any extreme example of that, I think, comes from an extreme event or an extreme feeling that then gets turned into a darker side, and that's why you have the extremity of the feeling. So, yes, and I think that you will see some of what that is at some point.
Will we find out more as to why you wanted to like own the Karasimi group and
Good
everything
question.
with Jason or whatever? Because you purposely signed or got married.
Was it for money?
And,
I wanted to know
was
if it
it
was
for money?
genuinely for money.
Or did they not really explore that?
I think it's more complex than it being just, you know, black and white, like it was for money or it was because of Charlotte. I think this is probably my main reason for being slightly disappointed that Rollins got killed this early in the season, in the sense that I think there was a lot to explore whilst he was alive, because there was a lot of different dynamics that went into his relationship with Allison, with Charlotte, with Mary, certainly. and I would have really liked to see more scenes with him and Mary to explore that dynamic, because even if you do it in flashbacks, when a character is dead, it takes a little bit of that. As an audience member, you care a little less about watching that because you're like,
No, we're gonna care.
We'll care.
But,
Guys
you know,
care.
But also, you never know. I mean, it's PLL, like, you know,
Right.
we've seen people be dead, we've seen people be dead and they're not dead.
We hope Marlene goes full Mona on you.
Full Mona.
Yeah.
Full Mona.
Full Mona. So, yeah.
And the freaking masks, and we've talked about this before, just like the four of us or whatever, but they could always pull a mask on you, you know?
I mean, it's happened once before, it could happen
It
again.
could happen again.
Yes.
And now the
Yeah.
girls have also like found in the trunk. They found all the ingredients, if you will, to
For the
make your
mask
mask.
making.
So
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
right. So they're obviously going to know that he was wearing masks at some point, and I don't know what that means for the story, but they put a lot of emphasis into what was in the trunk.
Yeah.
Like,
I
they wanted
think
us
you
to
could
know
ascertain
all of
that the masks will still be a part of the story going
Yeah.
forward.
Perfect.
Well, speaking of masks, could you tell us about the scene of you and Allie, like with that intense
with
like,
Hannibal
strap-on
Lecter.
mask?
Yes, that was a really fun scene to shoot. Again, we
fun.
had like some stunt people to like help us with the fight scene to kind of choreograph it. But it was very fun and very energetic. Like you said, I looked a little sweaty afterwards because it was like a workout. But the mask was one of the more intricate pieces of paraphernalia that I've ever experienced. Like, there were literally like 16 straps on this thing, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll like pre-do it, so you just have to do the last one." And I was like looking at this thing, and I couldn't work out for the life of me how it worked. Genuinely, I was like, I said to the props guy, like, "What possessed you to find something so elaborate?"
What was it actually for? Like,
So it was basically because
the purpose.
You know, I think it was as much kind of symbolic as it was to actually do anything in a real sense. Because Allison obviously was making such an effort to escape and to fight back, it was kind of a way to suppress her in a more emphatic way on his part. And I love the way he just like had it in his bag, like just in case. Like, let me just keep this really elaborate mask in my bag in case she acts up, and then I'm gonna stick it on her. And, but yeah, you know, it was pretty intense, but. It was cool. I mean, it's actually been cool shooting with Sasha, the crazy version of Sasha, this first bit of the season, because like she does a really, really good job with it, and it's been very easy to play Rollins against her because she like has been doing such a good job of this kind of crazy, like very complex character. So it's been a lot of fun shooting with her.
Yeah.
We've really had like run the gamut between. Oh, we're just so in
No, I
love.
love it though.
And like, I want to kill you.
Right.
Like
No,
my wife is sitting there. It's just like marriage, right? Like, we love each other. And
That
then
must be what you draw upon.
I'm not going to cut your leg off. But don't do anything I don't like.
Does Dr. Rollins, okay, because now I'm flashing back to the episode with the new introducing of Amish culture and the little Amish girl, which I think is like replacing creepy dolls. Like, Amish is the next creepy doll. Anyway.
even though the Amish girl had
dolls.
creepy dolls.
But I get it because the dolls were like modern day. And
Is this another Airbnb right now?
No,
It's
no,
not.
no.
Like, I am not
Nothing
doing
can
this.
Girl, we got
Yeah,
you. I am on your page.
Now you're on my page.
Yeah, I'm on your page now that the
Okay.
cameras are rolling.
Like a true professional.
Okay, this is what I want to know though, because Dr. Rollins was in that barn with Charlotte, right? And that's why the dolls are there and all this stuff. So I get that Dr. Rollins was close to Charlotte, but Charlotte isn't Über A. So like, does Dr. Rollins have anything to do with the real Über A, or just Charlotte?
I think that is something that I don't think I can really talk about that because I think we'll explore that as it goes on. But I think that what you can ascertain from the Amish part of the episode is that they had a place near to Rosewood where they could go and have a relation. Yes, I guess so, in the barn behind the hay
Was he
stacks.
really in love with Charlotte? I've always kind of wondered that, like genuinely in
I
love
feel
with
like
her.
he was only because of the scene with Mary when she's like, you're the only one that's ever cared about
Yeah, but
her.
was he playing Mary too? That crossed my mind
You
as
know,
well.
I think again this is a little ambiguous, and I don't want to talk too much about it.
And we're trying to get all the juicy
I don't want to like
details.
say
Like,
stuff
basically
that
just
is
like
then.
tell us what happened.
You're right. It is all Über A.
Like low-key, it's fine. Like no one's
Yeah,
watching.
no one's
It's fine.
watching. Like one man and his dog are at home. We're like, hi. I think the great thing about Elliot, the reason that I love to play him is because there is so much ambiguity about his true motive. And I have my own opinion about his true motives. I think you can take a little bit out of the episode title for this.
Right.
What was the
for
title
this
again?
episode, which was The Talented Mr. Rollins.
Talented Mr. Rollins and
Yes,
Mr. Ripley.
which is obviously Talented Mr.
Piecing
Ripley.
that together.
And I think you can take something from that in the sense of who Elliot truly is. Now, whether we explicitly see the truth or the depth of that, I don't know yet. But I have my opinions about who he is and where, his backstory. But I don't want to say too much about that because I don't want to contravene anything that might happen in the show that kind of
For
makes,
sure.
Right.
So we can assume at this point the reason why Elliot had so much hatred towards Allie is because he thought that Allie killed Charlotte.
Right.
I know
that's,
it's kind
yes,
of,
you can assume that. At
Okay,
this point,
okay.
And like
absolutely.
technically, everyone thinks that Allie killed Charlotte. We
Yes.
obviously know better that she didn't kill Charlotte because we're smart. But everyone in the show, at least the girls and Dr. Rollins maybe, at least assumed that she was the one who
well,
killed her.
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, no, you must have had another motive because if you really did love Charlotte, then why would you have been with Allison even when before Charlotte died?
They'll, again,
Oh, yeah.
probably
We'll discover that,
explore that,
maybe.
yes.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
thinking. Meg,
Yeah.
you got your thinking cap
But
on.
if you
smart.
think about the timeline, it does work. That I know pretty
Okay.
much mapped out how that all works, but I can't remember what I can say and what I can't say.
No, you're fine.
I know something you
At
can
least we'll
say.
get there.
When you said that Mr. Ripley, talented Mr.
Rollins.
PL
What's
fans
your name
everywhere is
again?
gonna go
Rollins?
watch Mr. Ripley now or Talented Mr.
Well, that's
Ripley.
what
It's one of my favorite
No,
movies. I love
That's what
this
I want to know,
movie.
though. What is that about again?
The Talented Mr. Ripley is so Matt Damon plays Ripley.
Okay.
And it's basically he moves throughout this film. He's very good at impersonating people. He is very good at assuming identities. He basically meanders his way through life by kind of utilizing the best scenario possible in front of him. He basically like assesses a situation and looks for the thing that will further his life the most, and he uses it, and then he like
basically he
jumps
didn't
from
love Charlotte.
situation to situation. Well, no, see that's the thing.
Opportunity.
No, you can take that's the cool thing about it, and I think if anyone has ever seen The Talented Mr. Ripley, the great thing about the character is you never really know, and I
Okay.
think that's what I loved so much about Rollins was
Right.
that like you really don't up until this point know, and you might never know what his true motives are, and that as an actor is like the most fun to play because you can really delve into it and find your own story in it because there's so much ambiguity in it. So yeah.
Now, speaking of like assuming identities, Toby discovers that Rollins had a run-in with like the law or something in like 1958.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just
we
wearing
all
really good
old
makeup.
is
I'm
that
actually
movie?
Yeah, we put
old
our
AF.
thinking caps and we all
Yeah.
came to the conclusion that that would be impossible because there's no way that Dr. Rollins could have been alive in 1958.
Yeah.
And yeah, I came to that conclusion all on my own.
because you have a thinking cap too.
That's right. So obviously we know that Dr. Rollins now can't be his real name because if you run a police file, like Toby's one to trust when it comes to that. So that's the whole file that Spencer wanted to give to Toby, but then she decided against because Toby was engaged and all this stuff. But Emily, kudos to Emily for taking that file and taking it to him because now that kind of sets up.
Not kudos to Emily. She's such a telltale.
No,
Like,
she
last week,
needed
like,
to.
Oh, something's happening between Mary and Rollins.
Yeah.
Toby, look at this file. Like, get your nose out. You know, like, go, like, do your Amison's thing. Like, I like that. Enjoy that. Have that. Stop sticking your nose into my business.
Yeah, I mean, she's
a
kind of
master
like the
plan
reason.
here.
She is.
She's
Effing it up.
You should really
Yeah,
look at
she's kind of like the reason that
Why?
you're dead.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But I like that.
Because she's like, they were talking as if
they
they knew each other, and then that got everyone talking.
And also,
then,
it's interesting because a lot in the first couple of episodes, a lot of the scenes were me and Emily, and really she trusted me
Right.
at first, and it was kind of, and I don't think that's unintentional, that like Emily is the one who kind of started to figure all this out. I think, you know, in the grander scheme of things, she has always been Alison's kind
Right.
of bulldog, if you will. And I think that it's interesting seeing her like be the main kind of person to
Right.
sound me out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of power behind the fact that she told Spencer, she's like, Allison's life trumps your wants. Like, you don't get to
Yeah.
decide what happens to this file because Allison's life depends on it, and that's obviously, like you said, Emily's end game has always been Allison.
I'm wondering
Yeah.
if there's something else in those files though, because I feel like Spencer was way too. She just like she was way too possessive over them. You know what I mean? She got so mad at Emily when, in
I
essence,
honestly think that the only reason she didn't want to give it to Toby is because she didn't want to see Toby. Like, she was hurt by the fact that he was now engaged to
Yeah.
Yvonne.
yeah, true.
Speaking of Yvonne, when she came out in that little lingerie out of her
I mean,
Airbnb,
she looked beautiful, but she like looked so young in
was
real life
cute.
that I was just like, oh my god, she's like an adult, you know? It was
And
like,
then Toby was like, no, I've got one.
Yeah.
I was like,
he's like,
what are you doing? Like,
man, I
Post-engagement?
think I'm just gonna be on my computer, like go inside.
I have important work to do. Sorry. And she's like,
yeah, that's so funny, but it's so true because I feel like all these relationships are like starting to kind of evolve a little bit.
Into their old relationships that they were.
Because the only, like, we didn't even talk about this, and like Caleb telling Spencer
my
what
God.
happened.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Him and Hannah, we were like, whoa, 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 whoa. Did that actually
Yeah.
just happen?
Yeah.
He just flat out told her, like, we kissed. And we were like, what the hell? We've been
freaking
waiting for
loved
him
it.
to freaking speak up and tell the
Freaking
truth.
loved it.
Like,
But
shame
then
on
I don't
him.
understand how then when Spencer, like in real life, guys, wouldn't you be so freaking mad if your BFF cheated
Well,
with
no,
your
this is karma.
boyfriend?
This is karma.
She wasn't even that mad. Spencer's
Yeah,
like, oh,
she's
you,
like,
you
Caleb
kissed
told
her?
me.
So much
Yeah.
history. There was so much
there
history.
is. I agree.
Whatever.
I think there's like, and also Spencer
Cheating.
is the most like pragmatic,
Right.
kind of conscientious member of the group
Yeah.
by far. I think.
Are you team Haleb or are you team?
Caleb for sure?
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
There's-
Caleb,
they
man,
actually
good
do
man.
have like a good
Yeah.
chemistry.
Yeah.
Like, they're kind of like a little out there, but like very much like they work. They do.
Oh, for sure,
They really
yeah.
do. Although I did think there was some cool elements to Spaleb, but like
It was
Nah.
hot.
it was like
hot.
it was,
And
yeah, it was
then
like
I
it was like
meh.
it was like a minute thing, and I
Now
was
that
like,
their
oh.
clothes are on and they're actually talking to each other, I'm like,
Right.
I
It's so true. Like, that's what people loved about Spaleb was because it was like hotter. Like, it was different. And
Yeah.
Spencer was taking her clothes off a lot. And we were like, whoa, this is the new side to her. But ever since
Yeah, when she
Caleb
showed
and
her
Hannah-
butt, I was like,
yeah,
shit.
Oh, she has a
Yeah.
big butt.
She's,
I remember
Yeah.
that day we were like, Freeform. That's why
Yeah,
they
yeah,
changed the
yeah,
name.
yeah,
It's
totally.
Freeform.
But I kind of like
yeah.
the fact that like they used the 5-year time jump to put that storyline in.
Totally.
That
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think it's logical. Like you have a friendship group like that, you grow up, and different feelings evolve for different people. I think that actually, although I know a lot of people didn't like that relationship, I thought it was a very logical relationship to have. No, I did. No, I did.
Well, 'cause
Just
they
for
were
a second,
so
though. I
sad,
don't think it has
though.
longevity, but I think that in a realistic sense, like you would have that. The dynamics do change as you grow up, and I think the show did well to represent
Yeah.
that. Although if you just had the relationship like, oh, we split up and then we got back together,
Yeah.
it would be a bit predictable. I think it was actually a good twist, even though a lot of people didn't like it.
Right.
It has logic and
It was
and
kind of
meaning.
nice that the relationship was in the group because, like, Aria had found love outside of the group, and Hannah had found love outside of the group.
I mean, Aria found love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, they
Let's
had
be real
relationships
here.
with people we didn't know.
Right,
So
right,
then
right.
the fact that those two found each other, that's why it was like, it resonated so much with us because it was two characters that we've known for 6 years.
Right.
So that's why those relationships were so, like, shocking.
Yeah.
But I loved
Right.
it because it allows us Hale fans to re-fall in love with
Yes.
them,
Right.
re-falling
Yes.
in love. It's gonna
And-
be so great.
Taking a page out of
so
Megan's
excited.
Relax,
Megan's
Megan.
book
Take
from
a
last
break.
time, Megan was like, you have to love yourself. We should
what
need
did
a
I say?
hashtag for this, like hashtag Megan's deep thoughts. Life lesson.
She
and
has
that was
the
it.
deepest thoughts.
She
Yeah.
really does.
So I said you have to love yourself
Love
before
yourself.
you can love somebody
and
else.
can I add on to that? Because you also have to love who you are in the relationship. And I know you think
Yes.
this too. Freaking Spencer is like this pussy ass bitch with Caleb. And then with
Yes.
everybody
Yes.
else,
Yes,
she's
girl.
like
Say
what you
strong and
really think.
independent.
It's true.
Yeah.
And
She
I don't
is.
like it.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
you shouldn't
She
be with
is,
someone
yeah.
that makes you like
She's
that.
always been so strong, and like for her, even though she is the, you know, the smart one and whatever. Like, she used to fly off the handle at like the littlest, tiniest things. And for her to just be like, I can handle a kiss. Like, that's so not Spencer.
Yeah.
She can't handle a
Hell
kiss.
no.
Have some
What girl
self-respect.
can? Or like what person in a relationship should handle that?
Nobody.
Like, walk away.
But nobody should handle
Maybe she
that.
said that because she felt like she was losing Toby and Caleb
Definitely, which is
all
really
in the same
sad.
day, you
Yeah,
know, and
it's
it's just
really
she was
sad.
trying to hold on to something.
Yeah.
Right. Which
Okay, I have
get.
another
agree.
ship question. Are you pro Emison or are you pro Sabrina and Emily?
No, I am fully pro Emison. I love
Oh
Emison.
Yeah,
my
okay.
It's fantastic. I know
gosh.
everyone hates
Oh
it.
gosh.
But like, you know, I know why you think Emily is like always being like, oh, Allison, and Allison's like, nah, whatever.
You watch
But-
our show.
Yeah. But I think that, like I was saying before, I do think their relationship is a great example of how young people explore and try and figure out their sexuality as they're growing up. And I think that oftentimes this will be the case. You have one person who is like, I'm gay. I know I'm gay. That's who I am. That's how I identify. You have another who doesn't really know and has had experiences of both and is trying to figure out how that fits into their view of the world. And ultimately, up to this point, I don't think Allison has really figured out how she can be gay and fit in with her view of the world.
Yeah.
And Emily is trying to show her how that can be possible.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to give up on that. And I think ultimately that's kind of cool because I think Emily ultimately will bring the best out of Allison.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
so
agree with
you,
that.
husband of Allie, think
I mean,
that
I think
Allie
tenuously
is gay?
husband of Ellie. You know, I think Elliot didn't think Allison was gay. But I do think Elliot was smart enough to understand that Allie and Emily shared something that was a lot deeper than friendship. And I think that's why he specifically has a lot of interactions with Emily.
Yeah, and
even-
I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think he's stupid in that sense.
Right.
But you have to remember, his motives with Allison
Right,
were
right.
anything but love.
Right.
And so he's ultimately manipulating those around Allison to get what he wants.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if I could have got an Emison shirt to wear tonight, I would have, but I couldn't get one in time. I was actually going to try and get one for all of you and force you to put it on.
Oh my God, you're so
But I
funny.
couldn't get
Okay.
one in time. But yeah, I am 100% Emison fan. I hope they end up together.
I will say though that I've seen them as anti-Emison or whatever you want to call it as I am. I will say that this, you know, these last couple weeks with these episodes, I have seen their relationship progress a lot, where Allie has been kind of responding to Emily.
Well, Allie grew up. Allie was like,
Yes.
she might have been confused this whole time, but her confusion in prior seasons was very bitchy, and she was very like, well, you know, today I care about you, tomorrow I might not.
Yeah.
But now it seems like she has more respect for Emily, which is why we can get more on board with it, because she actually seems like she cares about her. Where she might have cared about her before, but she came across as not caring about
Yeah.
her, and that's why you hated it so much.
Yeah, I agree. I think that definitely is like cause to think that relationship is a little phony, but I think ultimately it's more about Allison figuring out herself and her sexuality and growing up ultimately.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
And whatever that brought, you know, gay, straight, bisexual, it would bring. But like ultimately it's about Allison growing up more so than
Right.
anything else, I think.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I think, you know, it's important on like any show to represent that side of sexuality,
Yeah.
and especially now because it is such a hot topic, and rightly so, talking about like equality and kind of the respect for the LGBT community, which like up to this point I think everywhere has been a little devoid. And so I think it's cool that that's explored on the show in such a way.
Yeah,
Right.
And I
that's so
think
great.
also that's why Emison fans are so kind of vociferous in their support of
Right.
it, because I think a lot of people who watch the show, that key demographic of kind of early to late teens, and I think it's very relatable for them.
Yeah.
And so So
Quick, somebody
Love
look
it.
up vociferous.
I was thinking
it means like very
I was
like,
like, I totally tuned you out. And I was like, this is
You can, you know, pick it up from the rest of the sentence.
May I have
you
the
know?
part of speech, please? May I have it in the sentence?
I know, I feel like my vocabulary
Noun.
gets so much better when he visits.
right.
And like, and you kept saying whilst
Whilst.
Whilst doing
I just love
something.
it. British.
And how do you say going to the bathroom? Is
The loo?
No. You said
Go to
take
the-
a wee.
Take a wee,
or something.
I think
Yeah.
that's everywhere, though.
Yeah.
No, I take a tinkle. I don't take a wee.
Take a
Also,
tinkle.
speaking of, Stephanie also does Airbnb and not Airstream.
Oh my God! Why do you keep bringing this up over and over
Hashtag
again?
Airbnb.
Hashtag Airbnb.
No, but I know we touched on this a little bit last time we had you on the show, but like because you had to do it so much these past couple episodes, switching between your American accent and your British accent, like was there ever a scene where you went into one, you were like, oh, well,
Whoopsie daisy.
sorry.
You are so great at that,
think-
by the way.
So great.
You are so
Thank
great
you.
at that, by the way.
I don't think there were actually. I don't think there were ever any occasions where I started talking and was like, oh nope. Actually, I had an audition lately that was American, and I started talking British, and I honestly haven't done that for years, and I was like, oh, like, shit, that doesn't happen ever.
Yeah.
But no, ironically, in the show, even when I'm like switching between the two in a sentence,
It's really quick. You
yeah.
can do it. Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
I'm not. I make sure I'm.
How did you
be
perfect that?
Tons of practice.
Did you have like a teacher or something like that?
No, I didn't. But I actually recently found an old phone of mine that had, and I for some reason was looking at it because it has all my music on it. And I was looking at the voice notes, and I just had hours. And this is from like before I moved to the States, of me just reading articles in American, reading like anything in American.
This is like
And
such a good
that's-
lesson.
that's
Like,
what,
that's
like-
why you have made
And
it.
I had
'cause you
even
worked
forgotten about
hard.
it. I was like, holy shit! And I was like, scrolling through these voice notes, like,
awesome.
how many of these did I do?
Yeah, I like that.
But it really is that. It's like, if you get to the point where you don't even have to think about it, you don't have to look at a word and think, how would I say that? That ultimately is where you have to get to. And I knew coming here, you have to have a good American accent. As a Brit,
Right.
if you walk into a room, they're like, be American,
Yeah.
and they see any hint of British in it, you're out. Like,
Right.
it's not going to work. And so I do feel like for this role specifically, I feel happy that I did it because I was able to effectively do
Yes.
both. I don't know whether they would have done it the same had I not played it. I don't know, but I'm not sure they would have. So yeah, it was
But
cool.
we will say that new show Guilt on Freeform, you can fit right in. 'Cause
I
they
know,
all
right?
have accents there.
So cute.
Guys, something is actually stressing me out right now.
Uh-oh.
Wait, what?
Like, you know when
I'm like, honey.
you know when we wake up and we get like the 20+ notifications
Yeah.
on our Twitter,
Oh,
like
yeah.
every time it's a PLL day, I cannot even begin to fathom what your Twitter looks like on days
Yeah.
like today. And I know you were live tweeting, which I
Yes.
kind of want to hear about.
It stresses me out. It stresses me out because I hate missing tweets.
You're missing a lot right
Like,
now.
because people, yeah, I am.
Like, this is stressful.
Because people are like, why are you ignoring me? And I'm like, I'm not ignoring
Yeah.
you. Like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't ignore anyone, but it's so hard to keep up.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not like, ooh, I'm such
Twitter's
a big
fast,
deal.
too.
But it's
Yeah.
so fast,
Yeah.
and sometimes it goes right to the top.
I know,
without
and then you have to go
pressing-
all the way down to find your initial
Yes.
post.
And so, I mean, you know
Sucks.
me, like, I love replying, I love interacting with people. I try and do it as much as possible, much to the chagrin of my wife, when she's like, pay me some attention and stop tweeting people.
I
And I'm like, sorry, I have to put the phone down. But it's very compulsive. Like, live tweeting, I'll live tweet an episode, and I'll mean to finish at 8 after the episode finishes, and I can't stop. Because it's so interesting interacting
Right.
with people.
But that says a lot about your character too. Like, you know, you're very, very like in tune with your fans, and you love people, and you want
but
everyone to feel.
I think the thing with it is that a lot of people, actors, are a bit kind of snooty about or tweeting people because they feel like it's intrusive, and it is a little bit intrusive, but only if you let it. I mean, you don't look at it if you don't want to look at it. But I feel like in anything as an actor, the reason you're successful is because people like you, and people like watching you, and people respect the work you do. And growing up, I loved sport. I was big into sport, and my idols were all sports people. And if I could have sent them a message on a platform and got a reply, it literally would have made my whole life. Not that I'm making anyone's life at this point, but you know what I mean. It's that mentality of it really doesn't take much to someone says say hi to say hi, and when you can. And I even have some group chat that on Twitter, and I try and avoid the group chats because it can be very intense. But there's one group chat I'm on, and occasionally I'll just go on and be like, "Hey guys," and they're like, "Ah!" There's some Argentinians in it. they're like, when he comes on Argentina, I'm like, only if when I get there, you'll like find the best steak for me, and they're like, we'll find the best steak.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
Do you get evil ones? Like, if you touch my Bay Alley, I'll slice you.
Yeah, but they all seem to be sent with a pinch of salt. None of them, like some are a bit like, you know, I won't say the words, but a little profane.
We can swear here.
But no, I know, but
And
I
when
never
you
like
swear
to,
in
'cause
like
it's,
British
like,
accent, it really doesn't sound bad. It's
No,
a
it
weird
doesn't.
thing. It's like
Which-
classy.
yes,
Oh,
no.
fuck.
Yeah, no, I know. But no, I don't, because, I mean, did you see that Ben Affleck thing recently when he was talking about Tom
Oh,
Brady?
I did, yeah.
And
'cause
I don't
my
know.
boy.
Look, I am prone to the odd swear word or two at times, but I don't like doing it in anywhere other than
Good for
private
you.
environments.
Yeah.
Or when I'm acting, that's fine. I'm allowed to swear as much as I like.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Twitter is very intense.
Yeah.
Bad
But-
tweets, bad tweets.
But
the worst
not too
one.
many bad tweets. You know what's been so nice? And again, this does sound like I'm blowing smoke up my own behind a little bit. But so many people have been so nice about Rollins this start of this season, even though they hate him.
Right.
They have been very complimentary about like how, you know, convincing I guess he is as a baddie.
Yeah.
And that has been nice. So I did expect it to be a little bit more aggressive, as like we just hate him and we just want him to die, and like so many people tonight have been like, oh, at the start I wanted him to die, but now I'm like, oh no, I didn't want him to die. So that's nice. You know, it's always nice when in any way you affect people with your performance, because that's the whole aim, obviously. So yeah.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
love that.
So thanks for
This
being
is
nice,
so
everyone.
sad, though. It's
I
like
know. It's
a-
really sad.
It's like a new chapter. Like,
You'll be
It is a
back
new
though.
chapter.
Flashbacks, all that
Flashbacks.
good stuff.
Right,
Yeah,
and we all
we'll have you
obviously
back.
like they have to answer like 55 bajillion
Yeah.
questions, so we
They
know
do.
that we still have to get some backstory. All right, you guys, if you guys have questions for Huw or anything that happened on the episode, tweet using the hashtag PLLAS. I've been looking at the wrong camera the whole time. Hey guys, what's up? Hashtag PLLAS, and then we'll be.
Professional.
That's right, thank you. We'll be right back after the commercial break to take all your questions. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Did we get the Amish music again or not?
Not yet.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Oh my God.
High five.
We had a crazy vampire threesome.
And you can't unsee that. That's burned into my brain now.
I was like, you know why we saying yes. You know why we saying yes. Look at me, I'm dancing.
He was like, yeah, I'll tell you whatever you want.
He is like something.
And we're like, inseparable.
These hoes ain't look.
You just went to a totally different direction on that one.
I love it. That's genius.
We're funny.
Billionaire goes broke, it means he's got like $4 million.
There's got to be a code on that.
This might actually be a thing.
Somebody better take some pictures of this.
What did I do? What is there?
Are we there yet? Can we talk about this?
We've been waiting all night.
I don't like to break nails.
You can't count anything out.
It's been another awesome night at the Stream.tv, guys.
Thank you for joining us, you guys.
Hello. Hey guys. Okay, we're back. So we have your questions. I'm really excited because some of these are awesome. So at Gerald DeMonte, hey Gerald, we love you.
Gerald.
By the way.
You're so funny. I love you.
L-O-V-E Gerald.
Yeah, he is so funny. He cracks me up so hard. So he says, ask Huw about 5 years forward. He's coming for you scene. Is that the end of
Yes.
PLL as we know it?
Seriously.
So many people want to know
Keep
what
watching to
this
find
scene means, only because Allie is busy writing Mrs. Rollins on the board. She's a teacher, and then the girls walk in. She's like, they're all like, he's coming for you, but now you're dead. So now it's like,
Is it you? Is it your ghost?
I think that's one you're just gonna have to wait and find out. I'm sorry, but that's not one I can divulge at
Okay,
this
yeah,
point.
all right, all right.
Interesting
She could
she
still-
didn't change her name.
Yeah, I was
Right.
just gonna say
Like,
she
I
could
would've,
still
like,
be-
changed my name.
Yeah, but she could still
But
have
time
that
is very
same last
fluid,
name.
I think,
Yeah.
especially since the 5-year time jump. Like, there is a fluidness to time and how things are represented. So, yeah, sorry, that's gonna have to be
okay, all right.
Pass.
What do you know what the time between like what's happening now and that scene is? Like, do you know how long that goes? Because some people say it's supposed to be a matter of days. I must have
no
missed
way. Days?
Yeah,
That's intense.
When that scene, apparently when that scene came on, like something popped up at the bottom that was like 4 days earlier, and then it went to the beginning of the season. That's just that's what somebody on Twitter said.
You're right.
Like that first scene pops up and it's
Yeah.
like 4 days earlier, and then the season started. So like all of this happens in 4 freaking days. That's insane.
Literally, Marlene has her work cut out
I
for
think
her.
that and what Marlene said about the season, that it moves very quickly. It does. It moves at a very rapid pace. So yeah.
Okay.
You
very cool.
Sorry, I'm adding. You probably can't even say this, but is it safe to think that they're burying you in that scene, or they're digging a hole?
Safe to think it.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Breaking
Yeah,
I can do it that. You stop me.
Yeah. Oh,
I was trying to ask it in a way that I get the answer I wanted. Okay.
Yeah.
all right, smarty
That's
pants.
amazing.
All right, at Angie_RDJ says, so is Elliot for sure the one
Sorry.
that was torturing Hannah? Because I thought that was AD. P.S.
Sorry, what was the
Sinead
question
tells
again?
you
I
I
was
love
too
him.
busy
That's okay.
saying, thank you, love you too.
So is
Gee.
Elliot for sure the one that was torturing Hannah? Because I thought that was AD.
Oh, all these questions are impossible to answer.
See, so we might not be able to get the answer out of him, but basically she's saying when Hannah was being kept hostage,
Yes.
right, and someone was branding her.
She's saying, was that Elliot or someone else?
Right, because we were supposed to like think it's Elliot, but like, you guys, do we really think it was Elliot, or is that supposed to be A? Right.
Right.
We technically haven't discovered who A
the
is.
setting
Right.
where they were running afterwards, like they were running in these woods, and those woods looked really
Right.
similar to the
Right.
woods that
No.
Hannah was
Yeah,
running in
for
her
sure.
underwear.
Right.
Let me pull a Megan. Is it safe to say that Hannah was getting abused in that barn where Elliot and Charlotte were peeing in the vagini?
Oh my gosh!
You have to get it in
so
somewhere.
impressed with your ability to
To
stick
fit that in.
somewhere.
That is
I
amazing.
love it.
That
love
is
it.
amazing.
That was the best one. I was
2
like,
weeks
yes.
in a row.
If we had a mic, you should drop it. I think that's a phone.
I know. It's perfect.
I
It's a
think
carpet.
that whatever similarities you garner as an audience member, you do. I think that will be explored. So I guess, if
Very
you want to
cool.
assume it, you can. There are definitely certain things about it that are similar, but whether or not that means it is the same,
Okay, very cool.
Got it.
All right, at Samaras_MM says, you guys think that Allie planned for Elliot to be killed by the liars? Her walking in front
the
of
end
that
was
car
amazing.
was so creepy, but she, I mean, we didn't see her face, but just like her presence seemed like she was just like, ugh.
She looked like she was in The Purge, and you guys know I would freaking love that. Like
Love The
that would
Purge.
just
Yeah.
love The Purge.
Love
Love
The
The Purge.
Purge.
Haven't seen the last one yet, so don't spoil it. But I don't know.
She was,
let
did
it.
not plan
I don't
it,
think that she
though.
planned it.
Like, come
sadly
on.
enough.
No, I mean,
No.
look, I think that to put it all together and look at it from a kind of outside perspective, Allie's been locked up in Welby for
Right.
however long. The thought of her planning this
That's
is,
true.
I
That's
mean,
true.
and also, she didn't.
Yeah.
Also, she didn't. Okay.
Well, I mean, I can say that. I mean, obviously there is a lot more to explore in the story. But if I was an audience member, I would be like, no, there's no way she planned it.
No, that makes sense.
Oh my gosh, and this is so exciting because they're all together again. Like she's like finally safe.
Yeah.
Totally. Somebody get her some like food. Like they need to go get her like
Seriously.
midnight
For
or
real.
something.
I wonder what the
Probably start.
explanation's going to be. Oh, he was kidnapping me because he drugged me a lot, and then I had to go, and then they killed him, and like what's
But I
that?
think that's the thing. That's
Yeah.
the cool thing about what happened is that now there is a very real problem that they face
Yeah.
at this
Right.
point. I think Marlene said before that this episode was a game changer, and it is in the sense that this is now a very real world consequence they have
Yeah.
to face
Yeah, 'cause
he's
and
gonna-
deal with.
Right.
She says the liars will make the biggest mistake of their lives. So I'm wondering if that's
Killing him because
Burying
now,
you.
because think about it, because remember how they said in the episode, they're like, there's no proof, we don't have enough proof because we have all this weird stuff that Elliot has, but no actual proof that he's doing bad things to Allie. So, according to the cops, they just killed an innocent victim.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, dun, dun,
True.
dun, dun,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totes.
All right, at Little Swifty07 says, hey everyone, I had a theory. What if Spencer is Über A and Hanna wasn't dreaming when she was being kept hostage?
I would love that.
So Hanna like hallucinated and saw Spencer, and Spencer
I
was
love
like,
that scene, by the way.
oh my gosh,
I thought it was
that
such
was
a cool scene.
amazing.
I think there was like a really good level of ambiguity about that
Yeah,
scene. Like,
yeah.
Yes, I think that definitely you could look at that and say, was that actually a hallucination or was that real? It was a cool scene.
Yeah,
I
and
think that's a good question.
There's a lot of like dream things that happen in the show that we later find out are true. Like the whole Allie seeing Mary and thinking it's her mom and like thinking it's hallucinations and all this stuff. And it's like if the two cases are related and Allie's been given medicine that makes her hallucinate, who's to say that Hanna wasn't given medicine as well that makes her like confuse things? So who knows, but that would be so cool, and that's an awesome theory.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, it is.
That's amazing.
All right, this is the last one. At PLL Fan for Me says, what do you expect from Jenna's return next episode? Jenna is finally back, you guys.
I missed her. Missed that bee.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
missed her
man.
too. She's still blind.
No, she hasn't been blind for a minute.
Then she was blind again.
Yeah, because
I saw her at Nordstrom recently. and Bitch wasn't blind.
No, she's totally blind on the show.
Actually, patty cake.
She's like, why are you
Find
doing
out that
that?
she could see?
Yeah, we found out she could see, but then she was like blind again because like her
The
surgery
surgery didn't
failed or
work.
something.
Oh. Also, Mova, do you feel like telling your Dr. Phil story?
oh my God, no! I'll save that one for later, guys. Catch me on Twitter.
It's worth it. Check our
the
Twitters.
details.
But yeah, I don't know. I always said like I would love for this to somehow come back to her because I feel like out of everyone on the show, her motives for being angry were legit.
Yeah.
And she was pissed from the beginning, which was awesome if after 7 years they could tie this back to a story that PLL was technically founded on. Like the reason why all this happened in the first place had a lot to do with the night that Allie blinded Jenna.
If it was Jenna behind all of
All of
this, how would you guys feel?
Dude, it'd be dope. And I'd
I'd
wonder
be
how the
happy.
hell she managed to pull it all off because she can't see anything.
Right.
I mean,
I want
but- or
Jenna
can she?
involved. I want Ren
Right.
involved, and I want Spencer to be somehow involved in this whole master plan.
I
That
don't
would be
want-
like
I
the
don't want
perfect
Spencer in
PLL.
there.
You don't
No,
want Spencer in
Marlene.
there?
Well, we also know that Mary and Spencer have a bigger connection than any of us are supposed to think right now.
Right.
But they're totally
A lot of
like
good
either
theories about that.
related or Mary did something with her dad. I mean, like, let's be real. Spencer is more connected to anybody else in the show, I
Right,
think.
right.
Totally. And the DeLaurentis, they get around.
Yeah,
They do.
They really
Definitely
do.
They do.
Real quick,
Hussies.
somebody messaged me today. At Dylan Rockstar 4 said that it was his birthday and he was wondering if we could all say happy birthday to him. So happy birthday, Dylan! A couple others, really quick.
Hold on, actually, I had one as well.
Oh, yes.
Someone said something. Oh yeah, here you go. On Instagram, Zainab_Rashid.
Yes, we know that one.
Oh, look at that pronunciation.
Said, I was going to ask you, I'm 17, live in Cali. Best friend said to take me to the beach if I got a shout out before the season ends.
Love
this
it.
is a shout out. That's the camera there. Enjoy the beach. And if your friend doesn't take you, then cut their leg off. Don't cut their leg off. But in your mind, cut their leg off.
In your mind. Just imagine yourself kind
You're
of.
welcome, Zainab.
All right, at Brooke_Raphael, at Hayes_Cupcake, at Jacqueline Forever, Abby Fontana 13, Stacy Love, Shay, Breathe the Jen, May Cisneros. Let's see here. Who else do I have? You guys have been amazing all day. Sophie Hovis.
After the bread, any British watchers will know the Hovis reference. That is
love
a
it.
brand of bread in
Oh,
England.
Very
okay.
cool.
We didn't
at
know that.
Spoby15, at Erica Marie 3, Misery Badlands, G_PLL1401. All of our PLLAS fan pages, you guys are amazing and have been tweeting and promoting our show like for us,
Thank you
which
so
is
much.
super cool. Anybody else? Anybody else?
There were so many today, especially because of you.
Oh my
It was, like,
gosh.
on fire today.
know.
Yeah, it was absurd. But you guys, seriously, thank you so much. And
Oh,
if
any
you-
shout outs?
yeah.
Yeah. My wife first, who's right there.
yeah.
Hey, Molly.
Molly Collins. Nieces, Caroline, and Ellie and Anna and William, who's not a niece, he's a nephew. And I guess Nico and AJ and Reese.
Very cool.
Gotta give them a shout out to the New Hampshire crew.
course.
Megan knows all about. Oh, and patty cakes!
Patty cake!
Pancakes, the champion of New Hampshire.
That's right.
We were just talking about how much of an absolute
She
New
is.
Hampshire, like, live free or die, crazy she was.
I could just picture her at home right now on the couch
Respect.
next to my dad, being like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god!"
New Hampshire. Yeah.
like, did you
Live free
hear
or
that?
die.
I love it.
Yeah. And thanks to you guys for having me. I love
course.
being
No,
here.
thank you. And we're like,
I'm always excited about it. and
it's
you
so
guys are
bittersweet because we're gonna miss you
awesome. And we
every
were
week.
watching, and they literally were like, "No, you're not dead."
I still
And
don't
I was
believe
like-
it.
And they were like, "No, this is so sad." And I was just like, "What are you gonna do?"
And Ian Harding sent a text to you, right, that said
He
something.
did, saying that I
forget.
was handsome,
As a dead.
handsome dead person or something, which is very sweet.
That's really
We love
nice.
it.
Shout out to Ian
We-
Harding.
Ian's the best. Yeah, shout out to Ian.
You are so talented, and we look
you.
forward to following your career because this
Yeah.
is just the beginning. There's so
Yeah.
many
Thank
big
you.
things
Yeah.
coming your way, and I'm
It is
just so
Hallmark
excited.
and Lifetime movies from here on out.
No,
for me.
stop
Yeah.
it!
Like,
No,
kidnapped
no, but
at
That's
17.
Megan's dream.
No, it is my dream.
My
Megan's
teachers
dream.
killed me.
Like my freaky
those.
persona is gonna go on to like the
Yes.
haunted babysitter.
Yes,
No, but
love
if
it.
you do get a Hallmark Christmas movie, please tell them I want to be in it at
is
some
that
point.
okay?
Like,
I
I'm
will.
obsessed with Hallmark Christmas movies.
Okay. She really
So I need to be
You've
in
talked
it.
about this
That's the
multiple
extent of
times.
Megan's acting career. She's always like, I don't think I could act, but if I ever did, I would want to be in a Hallmark Christmas movie.
I am
Kid you not.
99% certain you could be in a Hallmark Christmas movie
I
and no
really-
one would bat an eyelid
I
at
really
your
hope that
acting.
happens.
Yeah.
So,
Believe me.
You know.
All right, you guys, keep tweeting us and keep tweeting Huw any other questions and anything else we didn't get to today. And obviously send your predictions in for what's going to happen for the rest of the season and anything else that, like, I don't know, questions, comments. Like, we need to get to the bottom of this, and now we have even more questions than ever because Dr. Rollins is dead. So, like, now should we be focusing on Mary? Should we go back to focusing on Allison? Like, there's so much to talk about. So make sure that you guys hop online. Give us like 20 minutes to get home, of course. And Huw and Molly are gonna go to dinner, so like, give us a little bit of time.
Fancy.
But then
Yeah, I'll be on
we-
like 11 o'clock. She'll be like,
You're like, ah!
"Why
But
are you
no.
still awake? I'm tweeting."
It's totally fine. You guys can seriously send in all your theories and questions, and we'll get to them. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for tuning in.
Are you guys
Are
ready?
we doing it? Are we
what are we
doing it?
doing?
Yeah, we do
What are we doing?
3, 2, 1, and then we
do
gas.
3, 2, 1, we go.
All right.
Oh my god.
We do our PLL gas.
gosh.
So I expect yours to be the best because
Yeah.
you're a
Like,
real
we go,
actor.
yeah.
So
Like that.
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.